And then we got to come out with a high level of discipline defensively, high activity level on the defensive end of the floor, and continue to work on playing with the pace that we want off. Just excited for another opportunity to step on the floor, against a tough opponent. Reminding our players, Indiana's a different team than they were the first 3 times that we played them earlier in the season.
You know what's funny? The Fever just got rid of the coach who fixed their fever. Christie Sides took a team that was ice cold and made them red hot. And how do they thank her? By showing her the door. Talk about bad bedside manner. But seriously, this is no laughing matter. Sides just led the team to their first playoff appearance since 2016. And now she's out of a job. It's like a joke without a punchline. Stick around, because we're about to dive into this bizarre situation and try to make sense of it all. You know what's crazy? The Indiana Fever went from being the WNBA's punching bag to playoff contenders in just 1 season. I mean, talk about a wild ride. Let's rewind and talk about how bad things were for this team. The Fever were losing left and right, racking up more L's than a learner's permit convention.
She makes tough buckets. She gives us another option on the floor to run our off-ball screening action for. She gives us another player that can play with the ball. She's come in and just blended perfectly. She hasn't tried to be anything other than what she is, and that's exactly what we need. She obviously spaces the floor for us.
Fans were checking out faster than a shoplifter at a self-checkout. It was rough, like really rough. Then boom, Caitlin Clark shows up and suddenly everything changes. It's like someone flipped a switch and turned the Fever from a dumpster fire into a blazing inferno of awesome. The team starts winning, fans are going absolutely nuts, and it's like the whole city of Indianapolis remembered they had a WNBA team.
I think we've got to continue to find more ways for her to get some shots, particularly off the ball. She's been a pleasant surprise for us on the defensive end of the floor too. I mean, she has really good instincts, and she does a lot of things that you can't teach in her hands in the 2-man game. She just has a really high IQ and understanding of the game. She also has a toughness and a competitive fire like that our group has, and that allows almost a seamless transition.
But here's the thing, it wasn't all smooth sailing from the get-go. The start of the season was about as pretty as a football player's feet. Imagine this, Clark's trying to find her groove in the big leagues. The team's still figuring out how to play together, and they're losing game after game. It's like watching a newborn giraffe try to walk, all awkward and wobbly, and you're not sure if you should laugh or cry. Clark's out there looking like a rookie, which, she is.
We've seen tensions between fans and players. We've seen the league and the Players Association, tensions with the media for the last couple of years, those remarkable ratings, the women's tournament outrating the men's. But there have been some growing pains as well, right?
Trying to adjust to the faster pace and tougher competition. The rest of the team is trying to figure out how to play with this new superstar, and it's about as coordinated as a 3-legged race at a company picnic. They're stumbling, they're fumbling, and the losses are piling up faster than dirty laundry in a college dorms. But then, something magical happens. It's like Clark and the team both bit into a power-up mushroom from Super Mario. Suddenly, Clark starts playing like she's been in the league for years, not months. She's dropping dimes, draining threes, and making veteran players look like they're stuck in slow motion. The rest of the team starts clicking too, like all the puzzle pieces finally found their spots. And get this, the team goes from a dismal 1-8 start to winning 19 of their next 31 games. That's not just a turnaround, that's a full-on basketball revolution. We're talking about a transformation so dramatic, it makes those weight loss before and after photos look like child's play. But you know what's even crazier than this Cinderella story? This incredible turnaround, this phoenix rising from the ashes, this basketball miracle. It wasn't enough to save the coach's job. That's right, Christie Sides, the mastermind behind this epic comeback, got shown the door faster than a party crasher at a VIP event. It's like the Fever management watched their team go from zeros to heroes and thought, nah, not good enough. Talk about a tough crowd. It's like acing your final exam and still getting kicked out of school. The Fever went from being the joke of the league to playoff contenders. And somehow, some way, that wasn't enough to keep Sides in the driver's seat. If that doesn't make your head spin, I don't know what will. Hold up, time out. The Fever just pulled off one of the biggest turnarounds in WNBA history, but instead of popping champagne, they're packing up their coach's office. It's like they won the lottery and decided to burn the ticket. What's really going on behind the scenes in Indiana? So the Fever are winning, Clark's breaking records left and right, everything's perfect, right? Wrong. Let's talk about Christie Sides for a second. This woman took a team that was scraping the bottom of the WNBA barrel and turned them into playoff contenders. And what's her reward? A one-way ticket out of town. Talk about a plot twist. You're probably sitting there thinking, that doesn't make any sense. Well, welcome to the wild world of the WNBA, where logic sometimes takes a back seat to ambition. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, they throw you a curveball that would make even the best batter swing and miss. Enter Kelly Krauskopf, the Fever's new president of basketball operations. She comes in talking about being bold and assertive in their championship pursuit. Translation, Sides isn't cutting it anymore. It's like Krauskopf walked into a room full of B+ students and decided she needed straight A's or nothing. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sides wasn't just any old coach. She was there for Clark's rookie year, helping her adjust to the pros. Imagine being the person who helped mold one of the most exciting young talents in the league, only to be shown the door before you can see the fruits of your labor. It's like planting a garden and getting kicked out of your house right before harvest season. Put yourself in Sides' shoes for a second. You've just had your best season ever, made the playoffs for the first time in years, and then, bam, you're fired. It's like acing your performance review at work and then getting handed a pink slip instead of a raise. The whiplash is real, folks. But here's the kicker. Having a superstar like Caitlin Clark changes everything. Suddenly making the playoffs isn't enough. The Fever aren't just aiming for a participation trophy anymore. They want the whole enchilada. We're talking championships, baby. It's like going from being happy with a slice of pizza to demanding a 5-course meal at a Michelin star restaurant. And that means bringing in a coach who's been there, done that, and probably has the championship ring to prove it. But who's it gonna be? The rumor mill is churning faster than a tornado in Tornado Alley. One name that's been floating around is Stephanie White, who's got history with the Fever and knows a thing or two about winning big game. Crazy situation, but it's not unheard of in pro sports. Sometimes when you've got a generational talent like Clark, you go all in. It's like the Fever are playing poker, and they've just been dealt a royal flush. They're pushing all their chips to the center of the table. The question is, will their bold move pay off, or are they risking it all on a bad bet? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the Fever are making it clear that with Clark on the team, it's championship or bust. So the Fever are going all in on their Clark-powered future. It's like they've got a golden ticket and they're not about to let it go to waste. With Clark and Boston on the roster, they're not just dreaming of playoffs anymore. They're eyeing that championship trophy like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. But here's the thing, building a dynasty isn't as easy as snapping your fingers. It takes time, patience, and a whole lot of luck. The Fever are acting like they've got a time machine, trying to fast forward through all the growing pains. Will their gamble pay off? Or are they setting themselves up for a bigger fall? One thing's for sure, with Clark in the mix, the Fever's future is hotter than a summer day in Indiana.